Animate Project 3, Animated Internet Ads. We are on Stage 1, Animating Symbols. You've seen that Animate is a whole lot different from After Effects. In After Effects, you placed an item or file in the timeline, and then you could move it around along the timeline, and you got a series of keyframes when you moved it, and the objects kind of flowed from one keyframe to another. Well, in Animate, we have to tell the program to create that move or change from one keyframe to another. Otherwise, that item is just static and suddenly pops to another location or becomes something else. Creating those changes are called tweening. So we're going to tween our symbols as movie clips. Make sure that you read the section on page 123 about planning a movie. You're going to learn a little bit about storyboarding, which is what you're going to need to create for your project that's coming up. Storyboards are just simply a plan that is written out or drawn out to explain exactly what you intend to do. Make sure that you have the kayak file downloaded and expanded and in your WIP folder. We're going to create a new file, so go up to File, New, and do it this way. Don't select it off of Create New because you won't get this dialog box which we need. We're going to choose, under General, we're doing an Action Script 3, and then in Templates we want to select the medium rectangle size, which is a 300 by 250. Say OK to that, and then go to File, Import, Import to Stage. Hello. And we are importing to Stage the CKO logo. And in the dialog box, hide the advanced options. And for layer conversion, you're going to maintain editable paths and effects. Convert layers to animate layers. Uncheck the import as a single bitmap, unused symbols, and set stage size. So only keep place objects at original position checked and click import. There's 4 layers, so you're going to see all 4 of those already in your timeline. And with your selection tool, click and drag this so that it's kind of centered and so that the water rests on the bottom of your stage. Click away to deselect everything, and in the Properties panel, for the stage color, we're going to change that to a lovely black. Click the FPS hot text, that's your frames per second. We don't need 24 frames per second. This is being built for the internet, so we only need 15, and that will change when you press enter. You're now going to save your file as CKO medium rectangle, and you can see I've done this before, so they're already built for me, and save. We're going to create a shape tween, and all a shape tween is converting one shape into another one across time. We designate what the starting shape is and then what the ending shape is, and Animate creates the in-between. We're going to make the sun appear to come up over the horizon. With your selection tool, click the sun object and open your color panel if it's not open already. The sun is created using a gradient fill, and we're going to edit that gradient so that the edge of the sun is more of a glow that fades off into the black sky. So we're going to click on that right gradient stop and select it and change the alpha to 0. That gives us this nice glow around the sun. We want to convert the sun into a symbol, so with that still selected, press the F8 key. We're going to name this Sun MC. We're going to make it a movie clip so that we can have action. Select the bottom center proxy for the registration and create the symbol. Double click the symbol on the stage to go into the symbol editing mode and select frame 30 on your timeline. We're now going to insert a keyframe, press F6, and then choose the free transform tool. Select that solid white circle in the center, that is your transformation point, and drag it down to the center bottom. With frame 30 still selected, we're going to open the transform panel, and you can zoom out if you want so you can see more of the area around the stage. In your transform panel, you're going to make sure that the constraint is active, and you're going to increase the scale evenly to about 350% so that all of the stage is covered by the glow of the sun. So now if you scrub between this point and that on the timeline, there's the sun, you scrub forward and pop all of a sudden. So that doesn't work. So we're going to right click on a frame somewhere in between 1 and 30, and we are going to create a shape tween. Now if you select 1 in the timeline and scrub forward, you will see the transformation. And we'll go back to scene 1, save your file. Next we're going to create a tween for the color of an object. We want to select the logo type, press F8 to convert that object to a symbol and name it logo. It is also a movie clip, and you can leave the registration because we're not going to move this. But we're going to create the new symbol and then double click the symbol to enter into it. Go to Modify and Ungroup so that we can change the color. We're now going to go to frame 60 and add a new keyframe, press F6, and click in the filled area of the text to make that text active, and we're going to change the color to a specified number. You need to use your pound key, remember that from your basic HTML, and the color is going to be 33, 000033 for your hexadecimal, and press enter. So over time our logo is going to change from white to a dark blue. Right click and create a shape tween, and you will get a gradual change from white to gray to the deep blue. Go back to scene 1 and you can save your file again. We still can't play this because we don't have a keyframe set for the main stage. We want to animate the kayak and the guy who is rowing it next. For that we need to click the entire layer in the timeline so that we select all of the objects on the layer. We're going to convert those selected objects to a symbol. Again, F8, and this is going to be kayaker, MC, and again it is for a movie clip, and for the registration point on this one we want to select the right center. With that new symbol instance selected on the stage, in your property panel, so reselect it so that you get your property panel position and size, we want to change the X value to 0. We want that off the stage, so the very front of that is now just clear. On the kayak layer, you're going to click on frame 30 and we're going to add a new keyframe and select the kayaker to bring up the position and size, and scrub the X property until that kayak is pretty much centered on the screen. Right click between frame 1 and 30 and create a classic tween. Next, select frame 38. Insert another keyframe. We don't want the animation to move. We want the animation to pause. We're holding this static. We don't put another tween in. Then we're going to go to frame 60. We're going to add another keyframe. Select the kayaker again, and we want to change the X property so that the kayaker is completely off the stage at this point, which is going to put it somewhere around 550. And again, click in between and create another classic tween. We're now going to add more frames to our animation so that we can see the other layers, because right now, although now we can play our animation, we have no other layers except for that kayaker. Select frame 60 of the logo type layer and the water and the sun. Hold down your control key so that you select all of them, and press F5 to add a regular frame, and then select frame 1, and you can now press enter to play your animation through. Now you won't see the sunrise and you won't see the logo type animations because those were created inside the symbols. The next thing we want to do is add something that comes in to fill the background after the sun comes up, and we want that to be a photo. So select the sun layer and put a new layer in right above it, and that's going to be called photo. Right-click frame 30 on the new layer and insert a blank keyframe. Choose File, Import, Import to Stage, and select the kayak's JPEG. Align the image so that it's centered at the top of the stage. And you can use the Align panel to center it horizontally. Next, choose the Free Transform tool and move the image's transformation point to the center top, and reduce the image scale proportionally until the bottom edge is just covered by the blue water shape. Next, right-click and convert the photo to a symbol. It is photo. It is a movie clip, and the registration should be top center. And say OK. In the Properties panel, expand the Color Effect option and choose Alpha. Make sure that the alpha reads 0. Add a new keyframe to frame 60 of the photo layer. Make sure the instance is selected on the stage, and in the color effects, change the alpha amount to 100%. Right-click anywhere between the frames and do another classic tween.